Hello Divorce Network, I'm cooperative divorce attorney Erika Englund.
And I'm Neil Forrester, certified family law specialist.
You know us from our weekly live radio show, Split Decisions, where we help you in any way divorce has impacted your life, have a better divorce life, and make better decisions about love, life, kids, and money. So today's topic is the number one thing that is making me crazy in the divorce world right now at this moment, because it is a simple, easy, and totally free way to change your outlook on divorce and life.
And your attitude just generally.
Very easy to do. Today we want you to know 3 key divorce phrases that you should stop using immediately and what you should be using instead.
It's good advice.
And the reason you should listen to us is not only because of our weekly live radio show Split Decisions and all the information you'll find on splitdecisions.pro, but my experience as a family law mediator and Neil's as a family law litigator.
In the courtroom.
So first phrase that we want you to stop using absolutely immediately is
broken home.
Broken home. Divorce does not break a home. It changes a family. Life moves on, things are different, hearts get broken very often, but there's no reason that we need to have a negative connotation to imply to someone that the only way to have a whole, a complete, or an intact family is if you're not divorced.
True. The only thing that can break a home is an earthquake and maybe a tornado.
Agree.
But we're not talking about those in the dissolution context. We're
Either
talking
one.
about a psychological term.
And so instead of broken home, Neil, what do you say?
Well, I don't really say anything about the home. It's more about the structure of the family. It could be a single-parent family or, a 2-household family, something like that. It doesn't connote something that's broken or devastated.
Particularly if you have children. So the second phrase related to children that we want you to stop saying immediately is custody. Custody is a legal term of art, meaning...
Well, it just means who's got the kids, the legal type of custody and the physical type of custody. It's in the family code. It's a legal term. It's not a term that you should be using in your ordinary lives.
You know who's in custody, everyone? Criminals. So using that word, at least to me, implies that your children are possessions, that they're little chattels to be shuffled back and forth, that are owned by the parents.
Absolutely.
And so in giving some agency and some respect to the children and creating a nicer terminology, the phrase that Neil and I prefer our clients to use is...
parenting. Parenting plan, parenting time. You're parents to these children, not owners of them.
Absolutely. So if you know a friend or a family member going through a divorce and you want to ask them what their custody situation is, first, our recommendation is that you don't ask them and instead you direct them to our website, splitdecision.pro, where they're going to get all kinds of good information.
Absolutely.
But if for some reason you must ask, then instead of saying, what are you doing with custody, you can say something like, how's your parenting going? What is your parenting plan? How do you share parenting? And this really helps create a neutral and even a positive spin rather than referring to our children as these little fugitives that have been taken into custody.
Although they probably are, let's be honest.
And the last word is the simplest to replace and I think has absolutely the biggest impact. This is ex. We hear people referring to their ex-husband or ex-wife, and the reason why I don't like this personally is because it connotes something that's broken, something that's without, that there's some designation there of disrespect, or often people just want a nicer word. So the word that I use, and I would love to have you use, is former. Here's why. Neil, do you have any family that's been in the military?
Yeah.
And
several.
so, do they refer to themselves as ex-military or former military?
It's always former military.
Why is that distinction important?
That's important because the military is a family, and if you're in that family, you're always going to be a member of it, even if you're not active.
So there's this idea that you have served your post and been honorably discharged, and you are still a part of that family. And whether or not you think that your former wife or husband fits into that category, we actually know that by using more neutral terminology, it will start to change your perspective. So while I have ex-boyfriends, certainly, I have a former husband, and I would love to see you using that word to designate that regardless of your current situation, that post has been honorably discharged and that you're moving together, still bound by your ties, although separate now.
Absolutely. And by the way, there are no ex-parents. Ex-wife, ex-husband, maybe, but never an ex-parent.
Never an ex-parent. There's also one more divorce term that we want you to stop using right away, but we don't have time to tell you about it. So you'll find that on our blog at splitdecisions.pro. But from now on, if you please, no more broken home, no more custody, and no more ex. And instead, please use the phrasing single parent family, parenting, and former. If there are any other words that you know that you have a more positive or a respectful spin on, we would love to hear those, and the best way for you to reach us is at our Facebook page, Split Decisions Radio. And until we see you live next week, be well.
Bye-bye.